How many years have we been married?
I don't know, 22?
Why do you keep going back to 22?
I don't know.
42.
Oh, 42.
How old am I?
62. No, 60.
62. I get my first check next month.
Oh, you do? What
Yeah.
the hell happened to the last year?
I don't know.
remember all this stuff.
I know. That's why we're here.
Oh, really? So I'm on Medicare?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
And you got a really good supplement.
Oh, that's good too, man. I'm feeling better every day. What year is it?
It's 2022.
2022. What the hell happened?
I don't know.
So how old am I? 62?
You're 65.
Oh, I'm getting old. So you're 62?
I'm 62, yes.
What happened to me? What happened to me? What happened to me?
I don't know. You had a very crazy dream, you said. And you woke up and you didn't know. You were all confused and you said, why is the computer over there? And where's the chair? And do you remember the chair you took into the wood shop?
Wood shop.
The next door wood shop. Fortuna's wood shop. You're a monitor over there now. You went over Thursday and took our chair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No clue. I didn't know I worked at Fortuna.
Well, you don't work there. You
I
volunteer.
didn't even know there was a wood shop at Fortuna.
Well, you went over there the other day and you were working on our chair.
What year is it?
What year is it? Tell me.
2022?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't even remember a wood shop at Fortuna.
Yep, you went over there last Tuesday or Thursday.
What was I doing at the wood shop?
You took our chair over there to fix it. And you were the monitor for other people. So you call if they cut their fingers off.
Oh, wow. So what chair?
And the kitchen chair.
Oh,
So you came in the kitchen, you go, where's the freaking chair? And that's when I knew there was something wrong. I said, you just took it to be fixed.
what's wrong with it?
You broke it. You sit on it and the handle fell off. So you're gonna put the handle back on.
What year is it? Is it 2022?
Yep, it is.
Do we have insurance?
Yes, we do.
Oh, good deal.
Very good
Oh.
insurance for you.
Why is that? Because I'm on Medicare?
Yeah, and you got a supplement and it was very good.
Oh, good. Life's looking up.
Now you just have to remember it.
I don't.
All right. How are you doing?
Just fine.
That's good. You don't want to say anything?
Hi.
What are your kids' names?
Janae, Jeanette, Dustin, and Janelle.
Wow, you did them backwards. That's good. Do you love them?
Oh, of course.
Well, that was pretty interesting. Welcome to Tigner Adventures, and we are talking about medical situations today, and I guess I had one.
You did. It was a kind of a scary one.
So what made you, I guess, figure there's something wrong? I mean, when she started taking the video of me and the little bit of video that we had, this was quite a few hours after I originally went in. So when I first went in, I knew nothing.
He knew me. That's good.
That's good. That is really good that I did know her.
Yeah.
But, you know, she said, what was it that I asked the same question over and over and over every minute or two?
What is today? What year is it? You know, da 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 da.
Yeah. And
Kept looking at his watch. He was trying to get information from his watch, just pushing and pushing, and it didn't give him enough.
And then when, as it went on and people would ask me what it was, what year it was and everything, then I kept always wanting to go back to 2018 And that's about the time we started RVing, and so that was one of the issues with, that made her wonder what was going on, because I said, who put the computer where it's at?
Oh, no, he came out into the kitchen and says, where is the kitchen chair?
Yeah.
And I went,
yeah.
what?
So,
I said, you better be joking with me.
yeah.
And
so
he wasn't.
I wasn't. Everything had changed around. I kept saying it was 2018, but after a while, everyone kept saying, no, it's 2022. So after a while, I just kind of figured, I'm pretty sure it's 2018, but the right answer is 2022.
He wants to pass the test.
Yeah, so because this actually happened in the 1st of December time frame. So I'd actually been on Medicare for about 2 months, and my supplement had actually only been in service for a month. And so things just, we were looking at it like the open enrollment for Medicare starts January 1st. However, it was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and start it at my birthday because I don't want to take any chances. And
he must have knew something was coming.
I guess, because on Medicare, just going to the hospital costs you like $1,600.
The emergency.
Just to go. That's your deductible. Every time you go to the hospital, that's your deductible. Well, the supplement that I have covers that, so I can go into the hospital as many times as whatever, and I don't have to pay that $1,600, and the amount that I pay per month is less than the $1,600. So it was like, well, I only have to go into the hospital one time, and it's going to pay for this supplement. So let's just start paying for the supplement, and then we don't ever have to worry. See what happens. So anyway, so what we're going to do today is, in Ninette's case, she's very intuitive about what's going on. I'm not necessarily. I'm glad it didn't happen to her. I would have taken her, I would have started going, what is going on? What is wrong with you? Slap it. Wake up. So, but in her case, she's very good. She should have probably been a doctor, but anyway.
Well, I knew it was something in your brain.
Yeah, and they thought it was a stroke, although I didn't really have the symptoms.
You didn't have the symptoms of a stroke.
I didn't have any droopiness in my face or
memory issue. So
so it was definitely scary to begin with, and by the time she started taping me, then to her it was almost comical. In fact, what was the one thing you told? She was really being mean.
No, I wasn't being mean. I was just like, after so many times, why did you bring me here? What happened? Why did you bring me here? And I said, I stabbed you. And he goes, oh. I said, that was mean. I won't do that again.
And I have to tell you, I have never had to this date a COVID test.
Oh, well,
that I can remember.
Because it was, oh my God, she was digging for gold. We're all going,
so
glad you didn't remember that.
I don't remember any of that, so that is
you
really good.
You only need a sample, not a brain sample.
Yeah, so anyway, so I still go by the thing that I've never been tested for COVID.
That he can remember.
I've had that done. But she said I was just flailing around on the bed like, what are you doing? So anyway, wow. But anyway, so what we're going to do in this video is we just want to talk about a few different options for medical things for people that are on the road. And this is just something that's available to everybody. And then we also met a friend of ours that actually was staying here at Sundance RV Resort, because that's where we're at right now. And he is a doctor, and he works with this other program, and he's designed a couple things of his own and things like that. So we're gonna get together with him on a Zoom call, because he left before we actually were able to interview him. But we're gonna talk to him about some other options that are a little bit cheaper also, that would actually either highlight, or help with what you have, because one of the issues typically is you're locked to the state you're at. We travel all over, so his little setup would be of advantage, and we'll talk about that when we actually talk to him. So anyway, so let's go check that out right now. The first one we want to talk about is healthcare.gov. Now, I did a video on this, and I will put it's right here, but for those of you watching it on TV, you don't necessarily see that, then I will put it in the description below. It's a video that talks and walks you through the whole thing of healthcare.gov and how to get it all set up and things like that. Now, they do have an enrollment period. Each one of these things we're talking about to start with here does have an enrollment period. And healthcare.gov is typically about the middle of November to about the they've kind of changed it now. I think it's even going into January and February. But if you want your service to start in January, then you need to get in there in November and start working things out. And check that video out because it's pretty good. But it's it's a place to start. And one of the nice things about this is that you can, if you change jobs or change locations or anything like that during the year, then there is this other option that life-changing events, if you have one of those, then you can go in and fill out healthcare.gov and qualify through that option there that you have a life-changing event. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just when you get to the open enrollment. You can do it other times too. And the other thing is that if you are doing it and things change, then you definitely want to use that option to modify what your options are. Now, there is one thing that you need to be paying attention to with healthcare.gov, and that is that it is state-based, meaning that it only works in the state that you are a resident of if you want to go see doctors and things. Now, it will work as far as emergencies and things like that. You can go to the emergency anywhere. That's not a big deal. But if you want to see a doctor, get prescriptions filled, things like that, then you have to do that within the state that you are in. And another thing to keep in mind with healthcare.gov is that you do have to have a minimum amount of money coming in to be able to qualify. So if you happen to have saved all your money and it's tax-free and that's just what you're living on, so your income to the government is zero, then you're not going to qualify for healthcare.gov. You're going to have to go to, I think it's, if you make something under, I think it's like 24,000. If you're under 24,000, then you're going to actually apply for what they call Medicaid. And Medicaid is a state-run type program for most states, and so that's a different type of setup, but it will check with you. It'll tell you if that's where you need to go, and it will direct you in the area that you need to go to based on the state that you are a resident of. A lot of us that are actually retired, once you become 65, then you go on Medicare. So Medicare is something you have to pay into to use, and it's broken up into two different areas, and one of them is that you're paying a fee for it, and then another area is where you're going to choose to take a supplement of some type. You do have to take something for your prescription supplement, but you can sign up for some other type of supplement if you wish to. If you don't, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you remember in the video at the first here, I signed up for a supplement that I actually pay for each month, and everything is covered up to 100%. So whatever Medicare approves, anything that they don't pay, my supplement pays. So I never have any extra out of pocket. And being on a budget, that was important to me. I didn't want to have an advantage type plan where I don't pay anything per month, for example, but then every time I go to the doctor I have to pay so much, or if I do go into the hospital then I have a deductible that I have to meet and things like that, and that's all this extra money that you have to come up with when things happen. So I didn't want to go through that, so I chose one where I actually pay per month, and then that way they cover everything. Now, these are just the two standard ones that are available from the government. Those of you that work on the road and are younger, typically your employer is going to have health insurance that will work anywhere. And so that's a bonus. Medicare will work anywhere, depending on the plan that the supplement that if you choose to get one. It may not work everywhere. It may only work in the state that you are resident of. So that's another thing that you need to be paying attention to. So now that we've talked about healthcare.gov and some options that are available from maybe the state, I want to talk to a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Paul Maybry, about some options that may be of use to you guys in along with those ones we've talked about. This is just kind of an added thing. So let's jump in here with Paul. I've got him on a Zoom call. We're going to kind of talk to him and see what's going on. Paul, thank you for joining us. My
pleasure.
My viewers are typically mostly RV individuals or people that are aspiring to go full-time RVing. And so because of that, medical insurance is a real major issue, especially these days, and getting service and things like that. Anyway, Paul, maybe you could talk about the fact that, first of all, you're a doctor. I was telling you this is Dr. Paul Maybry, and you did have a full service for quite a while, right? And now you're retired and doing this other setup. So why don't you just kind of take a quick minute and introduce yourself a little bit here?
Yeah, let me just tell you how I got to where I am now. And I guess it all started back when I was a young boy, and my grandfather was a chiropractor, and my grandmother was a nurse, and my mother basically always wanted me to be a medical doctor.
So that's actually what got you into medical school and doing your practice and everything. And you were saying that even after that, then after doing your practice and all, then you decided to set up your own website and do a special thing. So what is that all about?
I just started researching low carb diets because I was overweight. And you can see on my page, my webpage, www.borntoeatmeat.com. That's just like it sounds, born to eat meat. No spaces. You can see I lost about 125 pounds. I got a lot more energy, and I still am a big fan of low carbohydrate and carnivore diets. Carnivore is basically where you eat meat, eggs, cheese, and butter, and little else. Okay.
So I'm putting on here the website that you're talking about here and the options that they have to look through this and see if they can use this to change their life. So this is one option that's available to them.
And I found out that it's really hard to sell this diet. It's the joke that tells the story of my life here.
So I see what you're talking about with this joke here, and I can see why that would be pretty hard to get people to kind of go the extra mile on things. And so you also have another option here besides your own personal thing that you're working with. You're now working with this other company.
I found Galileo Health. That's GalileoHealth.com. And they are a new startup. They've only been in business about 2.5 years. They treat patients in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. And they are basically, with Galileo, an app on your phone becomes your family doctor. Okay, so most of our care is provided by text message. So if you write us and say, I've got a rash, okay, we're going to send you a questionnaire that says, how long has you had the rash? Okay, where's it located? You know, the questions that you think your doctor would normally ask you if you went to see him with a rash. Okay, we're going to ask you to take a picture of the rash. Okay, and then you hit send and send that back to us. And usually somewhere within sometimes as short as 30 minutes, sometimes at the worst times, like in the middle of the night, and other times, it might take as much as 10 hours. And a fully qualified medical provider is going to take a look at that picture, get back to you. They may ask you some more questions, or they may say, this is eczema. We'd like to send you this medicine. Is that okay? You know, and this service, okay, it can be that you got nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. You've got a bad cold. You've got whatever we also care for everything that a family medicine doctor would care for. So if you've got diabetes, if you've got heart disease, if you've got liver failure, we take care of that also. Okay, if you've got lupus, every provider at Galileo has at least 5 years experience before they're allowed to be hired at Galileo. And of course, we're fully bilingual, and all of our questionnaires are also bilingual. Okay. So for the Spanish speaking people, we've got you covered too. And the service is, I want to say it's $29 a month and $250 a year. That's not more than a few dollars off, okay? And that gets you unlimited access to us. So in other words, you can, if you write us 5 times in the same day, if you have a rash and a cold and you sprain your ankle, okay, in the same week, it doesn't cost you anything to talk to us. Now, we're not insurance, okay? We're healthcare, like you go to the doctor. So there's no charge for the doctor visit. But if if we order an x-ray, if we send you a prescription for an antibiotic, then you have to pay for the x-ray somehow. You have to pay for the prescription, okay? Whatever we order, we don't cover that,
Okay.
And that's that's what we provide. Now, you were talking about the state exchanges and Obamacare, and that's a lot of our patients are from a state exchange, okay, that we see. We have almost 2 million patients now. If I want to make, if you have Florida United Healthcare, let's say, and I want to send you to see a dermatologist, because I'm not really sure. I think that's a suspicious looking mole on your skin and it might be cancer, So you have to go to the dermatologist. If you bought it in Florida, you would have to go back to Florida and see a Florida skin provider. Normally, the only thing that those exchanges will cover when you travel is the cost of an emergency room visit for an emergency, or an urgent care visit for for an urgent problem. Now, if you go to an urgent care visit to get your blood pressure medicine because you run out and you got Florida insurance and you go in Nevada, let's say, okay, then that's a good chance that they're not going to pay for that visit, the state exchanges.
But they could call you and get that prescription refilled?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of those prescriptions, say you got it with your doctor and you've had the same medicine for a long time, okay? We have doctors in all 50 states that are fully licensed. I'm licensed in 12 states, okay? So we have doctors, so we can call that prescription to a pharmacy wherever, and you can use, a lot of times if they're common medicines, they're not expensive, especially if you use something like a GoodRx coupon to get them, okay?
Right.
And so we can call that wherever you want us to call it in any state. And so our service can help you that way. And it's certainly, $250 a year is very reasonable to have a doctor that you can contact 24/7. We might be a good choice for some people who are RVing and do have state exchanges. They just have to understand the limitations. Okay.
For a lot of people, they just need something for catastrophic, right? Something happens somewhere.
Exactly.
And they need to get into emergency.
So if something terrible happens, they can always go back to Florida. If the worst comes to worst, they can always go back to Florida. But we would be a nice add-on service.
Yeah. Right.
And we're certainly not.
We were in Georgia this last summer, and I ran out of my allergy pills, or actually, I was having an issue with my allergy pills that I was taking, and I was having, and I just wanted to ask the doctor if I could double up. So I called his office, and they said, well, we have to schedule an appointment. I says, well, I'm in Georgia, and he goes, and they said, well, sorry, he doesn't practice in Georgia. Click. And it's like, well, what just happened here? That's
something.
Tough, so.
It used to be that they weren't that picky about it, but I guess probably some legal thing has happened that making doctors more picky about it. With us, if say you called, and I have a Georgia license, but say you called from Arizona, which I don't have an Arizona license yet. Okay, there's always what we call a national provider on 24/7 that has all 50 licenses in District of Columbia. So there's always somebody on that I can say, hey, Fred, could you send this prescription to Arizona to this pharmacy? And we have a method for doing that, and it goes. Okay, so it wouldn't be a problem.
So now, you were saying that it's just text. Is there ever any video calling that goes on?
Absolutely. Okay. In fact, our policy now is to offer a free 10-minute introductory get to know you. Why did you join Galileo? What do you have questions about how we do things? So we offer for pretty much everybody that initial 10-minute video visit. And then if it's something where we think, if we think that we really need to talk to this person because this is really complicated and we don't know what's going on, then at any time I just offer a video visit to you, okay, just by pushing a button. Okay, and so it's kind of and often pretty much if a patient says, "Gosh, I'd really like to talk to you this on video visit," we usually say yes.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of times, especially
Okay,
for
so,
older individuals,
and
video is a lot easier than text.
yeah,
So,
exactly. So, but these young people prefer text.
oh yeah,
Almost.
oh
And,
yeah,
and and the nice thing is, the other thing where this is really nice is for people who are active working during the day, and are working in general, that it's really hard to get time off from work to go to your doctor, and doing it by text can actually be,
right, right.
save you a lot of time and a lot of gasoline.
Yeah, for sure. It's I mean, the idea that you can just call somebody and just kind of talk to them and just get an idea,
Yeah.
I think is the
Hmm.
important thing, because a lot of people, especially since we're traveling all over the place, we have a difficult time just even finding a doctor where you're at, right? So if you can create a
Exactly.
relationship here and just jump on when you need to or whatever, then, and it's just that flat fee per year.
And if somebody is really hard up, there is a program that we can just say they want to apply for the discount program for low income patients. Okay,
Okay.
and I think it's $15 a month. So
Okay.
that's what I think. Anyway, there is a thing where we can send them a thing, and they can apply for it and probably get it for $15 a month if people don't make much money.
Thanks, Paul, for showing us this. Galileo.com looks like it could be an option for a lot of you if you take the time to get that set up. It's very inexpensive, and when you're traveling from state to state, then at least you've got some different options there. So, Paul, thank you for joining us.
And for everybody out there, we'll see you on the road.
That's the idea. Well, no. See, we changed it to we'll see you down the road because we don't really want to see them on the road.
I like it. Okay, David. You take care now.
All right. Thank you,
I
Paul.
hope I see you at Sundance next winter.
Yep, that sounds great. Thank you. So now we've kind of covered a bunch of different options for medical and things like that. Hopefully it's not as scary, but one thing that we've really ran into lately is a lot of our friends having issues and needing to be life flighted. Now, if you live in Yuma, they don't have many facilities here. And the first thing, like when I went into the hospital, the first thing the doctor says is, we've checked with Phoenix. They have no openings right now, so we're waiting for an open bed, and we're going to life flight him to Phoenix if we need to. All right, so they were already thinking that, hey, we're going to life flight, David to Phoenix because we need to check him out. That was before they realized what was going on, but at least they were thinking that way. Well, I've had friends that have been life flighted to Phoenix, and so there's a big expense there that we're not sure how much of that's being covered by Medicare or whatever. And that kind of leads me to our next thing. We have interviewed before our friend Todd and talked about SkyMed. Now, SkyMed is something that we actually purchased, and it will actually allow us to be transported for free to wherever we need to go to. If you look here, then you'll see the video that we did with Todd, the interview that we did with him, and kind of talked about SkyMed. And one of the advantages of using Todd compared to just getting on their website, if you see here, this is their website, and you can subscribe right here. But if you call Todd, you can ask all kinds of questions, and he can even work with you on what you already have. And if you think that you already have coverage for that, then you guys can figure that out together. But if you don't, then the advantage that he brings to the table is that he can get you some extra deals that corporate's not going to give you. And so that's why we work with Todd. He's an excellent rep. He even works with people that already have SkyMed from somebody else, but they call him because he's in this area in Yuma. And so when we went into the hospital, Ninette called them, and they came right over to the hospital and was working. They'd already called SkyMed and informed them that there may be a situation that we may have to use them. So they were right on the ball with that, and that's just something that SkyMed does for us. It kind of takes the worry out of it, and if you look here, you can see all the different things that they actually offer. And the biggest thing is that we like about this particular option is that if we are somewhere and like they wanted to fly us to Phoenix, well, if we didn't want to fly to Phoenix, because we're full-time RVers, we've set our home for SkyMed to be Salt Lake City because that's where most of our children live, and they have very good facilities. So we could have just said, no, we don't want to go to Phoenix, we're going to Salt Lake City, they would have flown myself, Ninette, and Tansy back to Salt Lake City. And the nice thing is that once everything was all figured out and done and everything's okay, they would fly all three of us back down here to Yuma to continue with our trip as we go. Or they would, if things went to wasn't going to work out and we needed our rig back instead, they would have a driver actually drive the rig back for us. And so that's the advantage to that program, and so that's why we actually like it. So that's one of the things that we suggest to go along with all these different medical options, because they cover what the other guys don't, and so that's what's really nice. All right, well, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. I know medical is always a big concern for everybody. Hopefully all of you are safe and on the road, but at least this gives you an idea that you can go on the road and still do this, even if you have some medical things that need to be done and things like that, especially with this service that Dr. Paul introduced to us, because no matter what state you're in, you can talk to a doctor, and that's something that you don't normally have available to you when you're just on regular type of insurance, especially if you're just on healthcare.gov, that's limited to the state that you're in. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll hope to see you down the road somewhere, and if not, it'll be on our next video. So take care.
Bye.